Okay, so let's get into session 2, and we're just going to talk about the most important parts that we covered in class. So starting with this model it, we have figure PQRSTU, which is our red one, and they're saying it is a transformation of figure ABCDEF. So ABCDEF, this is our pre-image because this is the one that came first, okay? So the first question is this a translation, a reflection, or a rotation? So these are mirror images. This is a reflection, and this is the line that it was reflected over. So this is a reflection. It's been flipped over a vertical line of reflection. The orientation changed, the location changed, but the size and shape are still the same. Now it says part B, draw an arrow to see how it moved. Well, it moved from the left over to the right. And then it says, and that's the first thing we had to do, add a center of rotation. That doesn't make sense because we don't have, it's not a rotation. So we're going to add the line of reflection, which we already did. So for number 2, this is getting into the new information. So it says corresponding angles, corresponding sides. And it's talking about parts that are in relatively the same position on both shapes. So what does that mean? So if I'm looking at side AB, on this red figure, what is the side that's in the same spot? So that will be side QP. So down here, identify the corresponding sides. We're going to put side QP. And we always put this little line above it when we're talking about a side. So what about side EF? This side right here. On this red shape, what is the corresponding side? Well, the same side that's in the same position, the same length, that will be side TU or UT, same thing. And put the little line above it. What about RS? So now we're starting with the red. What's the corresponding side on the blue? That would be DC or CD, same thing. And so we just go through and finish. So UP here corresponds to AF. BC corresponds to QR. And ST corresponds to side ED. So that's corresponding sides. We did a pretty good job of understanding that in class. No one really had any major concerns about that. So the next question, how do the lengths of the corresponding sides compare? They are the same length. Now I could measure them, right? I could count them out. Side AB is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces, and QP is also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces. But I don't have to because since this is a rigid transformation, the size and shape didn't change. So corresponding sides have to be the same length, size, and shape are the same. And then finally, the parallel sides. So if AB is parallel to FE, what do we know about PQ and UT? Are they still parallel? So let's see. AB, let me clean this up a little bit. There we go. So AB, right, is parallel to FE, and QP is parallel to TU, because if they're parallel in the pre-image, they're going to still be parallel in the image, because again, we didn't change the size, we didn't change the shape. So if the sides started out parallel in the beginning, after the transformation, they're still going to be parallel. So how can you tell? And also, how do we know lines are parallel? Well, AB is 2 spaces apart from FE, and QP is also 2 spaces apart from TU. So they started out 2 spaces apart. They're always going to be 2 spaces apart in both of those images. So the lines are parallel. How can you tell? The lines are the same distance apart. The lines are parallel because they are always the same distance apart. That is so sloppy. And that's all we're going to talk about for these 2 pages. The next video will be pages 10 and 11.